All right. So tell me what school we've got here today.
Holy Name.
Holy Name. What's your mascot? Cardinals. Holy Name Cardinals. So welcome to the city building. My name is Brad Staten, and I'm the mayor here in Henderson. And we are so happy to have you here today. We wanted to have all the area fifth graders come to the city building for just to learn a little bit more about your city government, about what we do, and hopefully we'll have a little fun along the way. Our city government is set up as a city manager form of government. And no matter what city that you go to in the state of Kentucky even, those can be different. There are 3 or 4 different ways that cities could be set up to govern themselves. Ours is a city manager form of government, which means that we hire a city manager to carry out the day-to-day activities of the city. So that person is responsible for taking care of the employees, and also the members of the city commission, which are myself and 4 city commissioners, so a total of 5 people. We give sort of the direction that that we would like to see the city go, and the city manager is responsible for carrying out that direction. So I sit on the city commission with 4 other city commissioners for a total of 5 people. Okay, we vote on things from where we set our tax rates, which roads we're going to pave, how we spend the money that we've got coming in from our tax revenues, all the other laws that are created in the city, stuff like that. And we each have an equal vote. My vote counts just as much as the other 4 people on the city commission. So there's 5 of us. In order for something to pass, we have to have a majority of the people who are present vote in favor of something. So if you've got 5 people on a board for this city commission, how many people would make up a majority? Yes? 3, correct. Now I'm going to teach you about another term, and it's kind of a big one. It's called quorum. A quorum is the total number of people that you have to have present in order to be able to do business for the city. We have a group of 5 people, and sometimes there are vacations or somebody's sick or can't make a meeting. As long as we have 3 people show up for that meeting, then we have a quorum, which means that we're able to do business. But if we have 3 people show up, how many people would have to vote in favor of something for it to pass? Yes? 2, because that would be a majority. A little trickier question, though, is if we have 4 people show up, how many people would we have to have vote in favor of something if it was 4? 3, correct, yeah, because if it was 2, it wouldn't be a majority, right? If everybody voted the same way on a specific issue, does anybody know what kind of vote that's called? It's called unanimous, right? A unanimous vote. Sometimes we have unanimous votes, sometimes we don't. But we're going to go through an exercise this morning to kind of let you know how the city commission operates. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to elect a mayor from the people who are sitting in this room. And what my job is basically for these meetings is to lead the meetings and make sure that we have a smooth meeting, everything's done properly, stuff like that. And so I'm going to teach you first of all about something called a stump speech. So does everybody notice the tree stump in the front of the room? Does everybody see that?
Yes.
All right. So does anybody know what a stump speech might be? So back in the old days, they didn't have cell phones or social media or television or stuff to get their message across. So oftentimes back in the 1800s, they would physically stand on tree stumps or walls if they were running for office to tell people why they are running for office. Okay? And so right now we're going to have, does everybody have a piece of paper and a pen?
Yes.
What do you think you're going to use those for? To vote, right. And we're going to vote for mayor this morning. And so what I'm going to need is I'm going to need 4 volunteers. And before you volunteer, I'm going to tell you what you're going to have to do. So you're going to come up here once you volunteer, and all 4 of you are going to give stump speeches to the rest of your class. And you're going to tell them why you think you would make a good mayor. And then once you give those stump speeches, we're going to ask for everybody to vote on who they would like to see as mayor of our mock city this morning, okay? So if you are willing to do that and you want to do that, please raise your hand and we'll call 4 people up to do some stump speeches and run for mayor. Yes? You want to come on up? If you'll stand over here. Yes. And the second to last row right there. Yes. And right here. All right. So We went over the stump speeches and stuff like that, right? So what is your name?
Finley.
You said Finley? All right. What's your last name?
Beck.
Beck. So this is Finley Beck. Can everybody give Finley a big round of applause? Okay. Miss Finley, can you step over here to this stump with me? And step right up on top. And can you tell everybody why you deserve to be mayor of our city this morning?
I think that I deserve to be mayor of this city because I think I could lead us in city government very well, and I could really run this city very well, and I could make sacrifices for us and have fun events like the Tri-Fest come and like some of our like school-wide things, and I just feel like I could be a great mayor.
All right. What's your name?
Jagger Coop.
Did you say Jagger? What's your last name?
Coop.
All right, this is Jagger. Jagger, step right up. Everybody give Jagger a big round of applause. Okay. All right. Jagger, why don't you tell the rest of the class why you think you deserve to be mayor?
I think I would be a good mayor for this mock city government because I've led a class, being the class president before, and I'm willing to make sacrifices for the city and the people in it. And I feel like I would do a good job if I'm a very good leader.
All right. Good job, sir. What is your name?
Kelly.
Kelly. What's your last name?
Everyone.
All right. Everybody give Kelly a big round of applause. Okay. All right. Tell everybody why you think you deserve to be our mayor.
Well, I think I deserve to be our mayor is because I'm willing to make this, I'm willing to make Henderson, Kentucky a better place and improvements in our city here. And like the other said, I'm willing to make sacrifices for everything that I do. And I just want to be mayor.
All right. Thank you. Good job. Your name?
Mason.
Mason. What's your last name?
Cleveland.
Mason Cleveland. Mason, can you join me over here? Everybody give Mason a big round of applause. Mason, can you tell the rest of the class why you think you deserve to be mayor?
So why I think I deserve to be mayor is because I think I can make this world a better place, especially Kentucky, Henderson. I could host fun events for our city and make leaders that are right for our country.
All right, good job. Good job. Okay, everybody get your pen and paper out. Don't write anything down just yet. I'm going to let everybody introduce their first name to you again. I'm sure you know everybody already. But if you would, what's your name?
Finley.
Finley?
Jagger.
Jagger?
Kelly.
Kelly?
Mason.
Mason. These are our 4 candidates for mayor this morning. And if you would, please write down one of their names on the slip of paper. And if I could ask the teachers who are with us to take up the slips of paper and bring them up to the front. And while we're doing that, I want to talk a little bit about our election process. In Henderson, if we have more than 2 people run for mayor, we have what's called a primary election. Okay? The election that you guys are used to, like the one we're going to have for president this fall, you're going to have 2 people on the ballot. It's going to be in the general election. In the primary election in Henderson, if more than 2 people run for office, then we have an election in May to trim that down to 2 people. So in this case, we would have 4 people. We would have an election, and the top 2 vote getters would then move on to the general election, and the winner of that election would then be our mayor. Now this morning, this afternoon, we don't have as much time, and so we're just going to have one election, but I wanted to explain kind of the difference between the general and the primary election for you and how that works in Henderson. And there are going to be plenty of opportunities to volunteer this morning, and we've got a couple of special guests with us this morning. The first person I want to introduce you to is one of our city commissioners. His name is Austin Vowles, Commissioner Vowles. Everybody give him a round of applause. And Austin, if you don't mind, if you can come over here where the mic is, if you want to tell them a little bit about what a city commissioner does.
Sure. Okay, so I am a city commissioner. I've been on the board since 2017. Your job as a city commissioner is to serve on the board of commissioners, which includes 4 city commissioners from the city and the mayor. And the 5 of us all together We have all of the legislative and executive power for the city. Can anybody tell me what executive power is?
Oh, back here. All right.
Go ahead.
Isn't that the president?
It's like the president, so it's basically the power to act on behalf of the city, is what the executive power. We have the legislative power as well. Can anybody tell me what legislative power is?
Is it the Congress?
It's like what Congress has, which is basically the power to make the laws for the city. So we have both of those powers between the five of us. So what that means, and the way it works, is if 3 out of the 5 of us vote on anything for the city to act on something, or for the city to make a law for the citizens, then it becomes law, or it becomes an action that the city does. So you just need 3 out of 5. Now, to become a city commissioner, you have to run for election just like the mayor. Their terms are 2 years, so every 2 years you have to run for election. And you have to, if you want to be on that board, you have to convince the voters to vote you and put you on that board. So I think the general requirements are essentially just you have to be over 18 years old to run for that office. So I want you all to kind of think about that right now. Start thinking about that now, because it's not that many years away when you're going to turn 18 and you're all going to be eligible to run for that office. And some of you, if you think you would enjoy doing something like that, should really consider running for office. Now, you don't have to run right when you're 18. It might be better to get some education and kind of build yourself up and prepare yourself for that role by learning the things you need to learn to do that. But at some point in the not too distant future, you all could run for office. One of my fellow city commissioners is here as well, Commissioner Witt. You want to add anything?
Yeah, Austin covered it pretty well. First, want to welcome everybody today. It's neat to be able to learn more about city government, but it's also kind of cool to have you all here because I think it's important that we get to hear your voices. I know, none of you all are of age to be able to vote, but there'll become a time when you will, and our hope is to be able to keep you in Henderson. Say you graduate, you go into college, you want to move back, or say you graduate and want to get a job here. We want to make sure that Henderson's a place that you all see as a welcoming place to be able to stay. So I have a daughter who's in the 5th grade, actually be joining holiday next year. Her class came last week. I think they had a good time kind of learning about city government. So just welcome each of you. I won't hit on much because Austin covered a lot of it, but our goal is the 5 of us up here, the 4 city commissioners and the mayor, is to try to really listen to the needs of all the citizens across the city. As you can imagine, I'm sure you all don't agree on every issue, even amongst in class. As you can imagine, with 28,000 roughly citizens, it's kind of hard at times to balance everybody's interest. So our goal is to try to listen the best we can and then kind of be their voice up here. We meet 2 times a month, and as Austin mentioned, sometimes we'll vote on new laws or we'll change existing laws. Our goal is really just to try to make Henderson the most welcoming place possible. So thanks for coming today.
All right, thank you, guys. And while we're still tallying the votes, we are going to need 4 volunteers to act as city commissioners today in our mock city government exercise. So if you'd like to volunteer to come up and be a part of that, yes, right here. If you want to join us. Oh, actually, yes, you come up, and I'm going to let them pick some too. If you want to come up and just go around the table and sit in that first seat right there, that'd be great. And then, Commissioner Vowles, would you like to pick somebody, sir?
Sure. I'll take this one in the back of the classes.
All right. Commissioner Witt, would you like to pick 2 of them?
The girl in the front row in the blue shirt, and then the one in the back and left in the gray shirt.
All right. And if so, these are the 2 city commissioner seats. So if you want to take that seat here, and then if you all would join me right down here, we've got actually this is Commissioner Nick Witt's seat right here, and then this is another commissioner named Rodney Thomas. If you all can have a seat, we'll tell you how you're going to take part in just a second. I told you at the beginning we're a city manager form of government. And the city manager is a very, very important part of our city government. And we happen to have a fantastic one. He wasn't able to join us today, but he does a lot of really good work for the city. And we are going to need a city manager to set up here for today's exercise.
Buzzy?
Buzzy, yeah,
You want to
Buzzy.
be Buzzy?
Well, I've already picked one to be Buzzy. But you're right, his name's Buzzy Newman. He's a really good guy. So if you want to come up and sit in the city manager's seat. And there's going to be other avenues for you guys to volunteer here in just a minute as well. Dawn Kelsey is our city attorney. Dawn, you want to tell them a little bit about what you do and then select the city attorney to sit up here?
Sure. Hi, my name is Dawn, and welcome to the city. We're really excited to have you all. I am an attorney that works just for the city. So I try to make sure that the commission does everything according to state and federal rules. I work with Buzzy Newman, who's our city manager, to make sure that the city operates according to the regulations that we're under. And then if the commission sees something in the community that they want to change or they want to address with a local law, I draft that. I do the research, then I draft that law and bring it to them. And if laws change to the state or federal level, I bring those changes to them to make sure that we are in compliance, because a lot of times that changes the way we operate. So, who would like to go to law school? No. Here you go.
All right, and these lanyards you can keep and take home with you, but if everybody wants to put on their lanyards to identify who you are. We've got one more place, and then we're going to announce the winner of our election this morning. We've got city clerk. City clerk does a whole lot of things for us at the city, and too many for me to even count. But at the meetings, what the city clerk will typically do is she will read a summary of whatever we're looking at, and then she will call the roll, which means that she will call on people to say which way they're going to vote. And they can vote two ways. They can vote aye, or they can vote nay. If they vote aye, what do you think that means? Anybody? Yes, it means yes. If they vote nay, what does that mean? No, exactly. So we need a city clerk. Would you like to come up and be a city clerk? Yeah. So if you can come around, just sit in this seat and put on that lanyard. And then we have a winner, I think. They hide it because earlier on another class pointed out that they could see the name through the sheet. So I'm trying to hide that from you. Can I get a drum roll, please? The winner of the mayor's competition in my city government this morning, Jagger Coons. Thank you all so much. Before you take that seat, I just wanted to say, sometimes to run for elected, not sometimes, all the time, when you run for elected office, you really have to put yourself out there. And what I mean is you've got to be willing to talk to people, to give speeches when it's uncomfortable to do so. You also have to be willing to know that when you vote on something, not everybody's going to agree with you. You know, lots of times we vote on issues that half the community thinks a certain way, half the community thinks another way, and you have to be willing to make those decisions because sometimes people can really appreciate what you do and sometimes they can disagree with you. And so it takes a lot to really put yourself out there. So I want everybody to give everybody who ran for mayor this morning a big round of applause. If any of you would like to return your seat, and Jagger, you are welcome to come take my seat, sir. And if you'll put on that lanyard, I will tell you all how you're going to be involved in just a second. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to run through a mock city scenario. And we used to do scenarios that were geared more toward your age and school, and this one's more geared toward your age, but it's actually something that we're sort of kind of dealing with at the City Commission now. It's not exactly the same as what we're dealing with, but it is an issue that is very recent and it's something we're looking at. And so I want to describe a scenario for you, and then we're going to, after I describe the scenario, we're going to have three people who are going to volunteer to argue for it. Not yet, but in just a second we will. And we're going to have three people to argue for it. We're going to have three people to argue against it. Okay? So here's the scenario. There is a group who would like to put on something called a special event. And in this case, a special event is something that doesn't happen very often, usually about once a year. And they are going to have a number of people who would like to sell stuff at this event. We call them vendors. A number of people would like to sell stuff. And the stuff is like jewelry or art or clothing or honey or food items or things that they can make with their hands. And it's not necessarily tied to a specific business that's here. Sometimes it's individuals. They're only going to be here for 2 or 3 days. The city has a procedure in place for who has to apply for a business license to be able to do business in the city. And the business license covers you for an entire year, but it costs $25 to get that business license. So the group that wants to put on this event they do not think that the people who are going to be at this event need to pay that $25 fee because they're only going to be here a couple of days, and it's not like they're going to make a whole lot of money at the event. However, everybody who does business in Henderson who has a store that sells some goods that are similar to those, they're required to have this business license to operate a full year and to pay that $25 fee. And so the question that the commission has to vote on today is, should we charge that $25 fee to these vendors at this event and require them to have an occupational license, a business license? Or should we not charge them that $25 fee? And so now I would like to have 3 volunteers to argue for having to charge the $25 fee and requiring the business license. Okay? Yes, right here. In the back. And over here in the green. And if you all can stand right over here, we'll get to you in just a second. And now I'd like to have 3 people who would like to argue against charging the $25 fee. No $25 fee, no requirement for the business license. Yes, saw you earlier. Yeah, sure. And then right there. And then if the against people could stand over here with me over here. So the last 3 people that came up. Thank you. Okay, so what you guys will have to do is you will have to listen to your constituents. Does anybody know what a constituent is? So did somebody back here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's a constituent?
It's like a candidate, kind of, like a person that's speaking.
Kind of. So when you're a candidate, a constituent is somebody you are representing, right? So when you run for office, a lot of people forget this, but it's the most important part about running for office. When you run for office, you actually represent people, like real circumstances, and the people that you represent are your constituents. They're the ones that hold you accountable. They're the ones that voted for you, and they're the ones that can vote for you in the future if you do a good job. But they can vote for somebody else if they don't think you're doing as good of a job. So your responsibility is to listen to your constituents, who are these 6 people here that are representing our constituency, and then to make a decision on should we charge this $25 fee or should we not. The voting members of the commission are the mayor and the 4 city commissioners, okay? At the end of this discussion, I'm going to ask the city manager, just so you know and you can be prepared, I'm going to ask the city manager to kind of give some guidance to the city commission. The city manager works for the city commission and works on behalf of the city. We do not have to vote the same way that the city manager guides us to vote, but your voice is an important part of our government. So you're going to be one of the first people I ask to speak later on after we get to that part, okay? So right now, we're going to get to the part where we're arguing or debating on which way we should go. And which side are you guys on? Are you guys on the 4 side, is that right? The charging the $25 fee. So we're going to have you guys go first. If I can have you come up. What's your name?
Gatlin.
Gatlin. Everybody give it up again. And you're actually going to be addressing the city commission. So if you could turn around without... Awesome. So, Gatlin, can you tell the city commission why you think we should have to charge that $25 fee and they should be required to have a business license?
I think we should charge them the $25 fee because it's unfair for them not to have to pay, but the people with stores to have to pay. And also, $25 isn't a ton of money. They'll probably make more than $25 selling what they're selling. And if they want to run a shop even for 2 days, why should they not have to have a business license?
All right, good job, sir. You come up next, please. What's your name?
Luke Vanderpool.
Luke Vanderpool. Can everybody clap for Luke? All right, Mr. Vanderpool, can you please explain to the City Commission why you believe that we should have to charge the $25 fee and require the business license?
You should have to charge $25 because it's still a business. You still need a license, even if it is going to be here for 2 or 3 days. And you don't know if that food is safe or not, so they should get a permit to sell that food or whatever it is.
All right, good job. What is your name? Aurora. Can everybody clap for Aurora? All right. right, Ms. Aurora, can you tell them why we should require the business license and charge the $25 fee?
I think that we should charge the $25 fee because I think that it's more safe if we do, and you just have to, because what if it's still a business? It's not just a free-for-all.
Good job. There we go. All right. So you're arguing against it. So if you could join me up at the stump. What's your name? Maverick? That's a cool name. Everybody clap for Maverick. All right. Can you tell the commission why we should not charge the $25 fee or require the business license for this group of people?
I don't think we should charge them or make them have a business license, because if we have people come in to buy stuff from those people, we will, like, for at least a day, they will have to get food to eat, or they will stop in one of our shops and buy stuff from us, and that will help us in this and also them.
Good job. Seriously, that's really good job. What's your name? Ty. Everybody clap for Ty. All right, Ty, can you tell them why we should not charge the $25 fee or require that business license from them?
I don't think you should have to charge the fee of $25 because some people don't have the money to pay for it, and that's why they're trying to get the job so they can make enough money. So like
Good.
buy what they need and stuff.
Good job. What's your name? Mason. All right, Mason. If you could step right up. Tell them why we should not require the $25 fee or the business license.
Why we should not require the $20 fee in the business office is because if people do not have the money to get that in the business license, then why should they pay $25 just to buy a food and drinks?
All right. Thanks, sir. All right. You all did an absolutely fantastic job. If you can return to your seats, then I'm going to address the City Commission for a second. Okay, so now the first thing I want to do is call on our city manager. So you have heard from your constituents, from our constituents, on should we or should we not charge this $25 fee. Do you have anything or any kind of guidance that you would like to give the rest of the City Commission as to what you think should happen? So all you got to say is, do you think we should or should not charge a $25 fee? You don't think we should charge it? Do you know why?
Because some people don't have the money for it.
Because some people don't have the money for it. Good job. Could everybody come? Okay, do you have a list of names over here? Okay, I'm going to explain something called a roll call to you, because this is what you're going to be called to do. In a minute, the mayor is going to call for a roll call after we get through a couple of things. What you're going to do is you're going to call on the two commissioners here, the two commissioners here. You'll read their names. You'll just say Commissioner so-and-so, right? Commissioner Anna, and then read her last name, Chappelle. So Commissioner Anna Chappelle. And then you'll wait for Anna to vote aye or nay whenever she's called upon. So whenever you hear your name, you will then cast a vote. Aye, well, and we'll get to the motion first. You don't know what the aye means yet. And so, but do you have that down? Do you have that part down? Okay, so you're going to call for a motion here in a second. The mayor is the person who calls for a motion during the meetings. And when you call for a motion, you actually can tailor that motion in this group. So when you call for a motion, you would say, and first of all, I'm not saying the word emotion, I'm saying the word motion. Does anybody know what a motion is? Yes?
Like move.
You know what? That's exactly what it is. So a motion is a movement, basically is the definition of the word motion. And in this case, this is a movement. And we use the word move in our proceedings, okay? So when you're calling on a motion, you would say, can I have a motion to charge the $25 fee? And it doesn't matter if he says that or not, because they still have the ability to vote in favor or to vote against it, right? Or you can say, can I have a motion to not charge the $25 fee? And again, everyone here can still vote in favor of it or against it. And I'll explain that part when we get to it. So for now, can you say, can I have a motion to, and then whatever you'd like to say? Charge it or not charge it?
Can I have a motion to not charge the $25 fee?
Okay, so when he asks for a motion to not charge the $25 fee, then what we have to have now is one of the commissioners would then use the word, going back to what you said, would then use the words "so moved," and that means that you are making that motion to vote. You're not voting yet, but you're making that motion to vote on not charging the $25 fee. So you don't have to raise your hand or anything, but can I get any commissioner to just say "so moved"?
We're all against it.
I'm not even a commissioner.
It's okay if you're against it or for it. We're just going to get the motion out there to vote on. Okay? Can you say the word "so moved"?
So moved.
All right. So now we've got a motion, and then we have to have a second to that motion. And a second literally is just someone else who also agrees that we should have a vote on that motion that was made. Okay? So if any of the commissioners can just say the word, any of the commissioners other than you, say the word "second." We can do it. Just one of you. Just say the word "second."
Second.
Second. All right. All right. Everybody clap for the second. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, which means that this is on the floor or on the table is on the floor to vote, which means we're just ready to vote for this motion. So the motion was not to charge the $25 fee. So when the city clerk calls the roll, if you vote aye, it means that you agree to not charge the $25 fee. If you vote nay, it means that you are not in favor, and you are in favor in this case. You are in favor of charging the $25 fee. Okay? So nay means you are in favor of charging the $25 fee. Aye means you agree with the motion, and you're not in favor of charging the $25 fee. So now the mayor will say, "Can I have a roll call, please?"
Can I have a roll call, please?
Okay, and then you call the roll and read the individual names like we talked about.
Commissioner Anna Chappelle.
Stay here.
So you say aye or nay?
Nay. Commissioner Colin Fulkerson.
I vote nay.
Commissioner Anna Sauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Levi Shoulders.
Nay.
Okay, and then you can call for the mayor's vote as well.
Mayor Jenkins.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so this is interesting. We've got 3 people who voted nay, which means that they are in favor of charging the $25 fee. And we've got 2 people who voted aye, which means that they're not. And this gets kind of weird the way it worked out, but they're not in favor. So what do you think? What do you think passed here? Which direction do you think the city commission is in favor of going? Yes.
Charging.
Charging the $25 fee, right? Can everybody clap? That's really good. A wonderful job on our city commission, and that was just one of the. We used to do 2 walkthroughs this year because we've got a group of you in the room. We've got a couple of special guests who want to get your feedback on a couple of real issues that are going on in Henderson. Okay, so if you all would please help me welcome our Parks Director, Trace Stevens.
First, thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate it. We've had, I think you guys are the 5th or the 6th 5th grade group to come through, so I'm super excited to see you guys show up for us today. My name's Trace Stevens. I am the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Henderson, which means that my job is to make sure that all of the parks and the swimming pools and the playgrounds, soccer and baseball and basketball courts and all those fields are well taken care of. I've got a whole bunch of people that work for me to make sure that all of that happens, but it's my job at the end of the day to make sure that it all gets done the way it should be done. With that being said, one of the things the Parks and Recreation Department is doing is we're trying to put together something that we call a master plan. A master plan is something that looks at all the different parks in Henderson and decides what we need to add, what we have not enough of, where we need to put it, as far as playgrounds, basketball, tennis courts, pickleball courts, football fields, baseball fields, soccer fields, walking trails, all of those things, anything that you'd find in a park. This plan is to ask the people of Henderson what they would like to see and what we don't have that they think we should add. Just like if you're putting a plan together for a building, before you build that building, you put a plan together so you know what goes where. And that's what this master plan is. Before we build anything new, we want to get a plan together so we know exactly where it goes and what it's going to be. We don't want to just kind of try to make it up as we go along. So with that being said, what I want to do is ask you guys, because you're the ones that use the parks, you're the one that play baseball on the fields, and you're the one that knock tennis balls across the nets at the tennis courts, what you guys want to see if we were to build something new or there was a new park or a new idea. So if anybody has a hand, yeah, I saw it. Have a hand up, I will ask you what your new idea is. So let's see some hands and let's hear some ideas. Yes, sir.
I think soccer fields.
More soccer fields. Okay. Yes, ma'am. She's freezing. Coming back. We'll come back.
I think we should add more like Chick-fil-A's.
Oh, wait, that's in the next one.
You jumped the gun just a little bit. Yeah. A park Chick-fil-A. Yes, ma'am.
More basketball courts.
Basketball courts.
I think we should build more or create more soccer fields.
Soccer fields. Yes, ma'am. Red T-shirt.
I think you should make more Chick-fil-A's too.
Chick-fil-A is super popular. Yes, sir. In the red T-shirt.
More park like play stuff.
More playgrounds. Okay. All right. Let's go back.
Like those, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a ball and like it has holes in it and it's like a spider web kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh! I know. I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
You should make a field named after Bessie, just how Newman Fields is named after his parents.
Oh, okay.
More softball fields.
More softball fields? Sorry.
Nets over the pickleball courts at bridges.
Nets over it so they don't
Yeah.
fly out?
Yeah.
Okay.
More like volleyball, like places to play volleyball.
More volleyball places. Okay.
More pickleball and tennis courts.
More pickleball and tennis courts? Yes, sir.
More football fields.
More football fields.
Swimming.
More swimming. More swimming pools. More swimming. More swimming. Okay.
Volleyball courts.
Volleyball courts.
Like track and cross country places.
Places for tracking. You're on cross country?
That's what I was gonna.
That was yours. You took your answer.
Trails.
Trails? Okay.
More sports.
More just sports. Any kind of sport. Lacrosse or discus or anything. That is, oh.
More ice cream shops.
In the parks.
More football fields.
Okay.
And you got one behind you, Trish.
Oh, and all right, last one. Yes, sir.
More baseball fields.
Baseball field. Okay. So a good thing about it, a lot of these suggestions, if you're haven't seen it yet, we are in the middle of building one new park already, which will have football fields, and it will have baseball fields, and it will have soccer fields in it. So we are already in the headed that direction. So one of the things that we are still looking at in the distant future, that place could have basketball courts, pickleball courts, and some other things out there. This is the new sports complex that's out on Airline Road, kind of past the high school, close to the high school out there. And exactly, right by Beck's Fields. So what we're doing as well as that is we're also looking at building new facilities over in Newman Park that could accommodate basketball, just things you'd play on a hard court. Basketball, tennis, pickleball, or as well as trails or maybe even places where you could have like festivals or events where you could bring in people to pay their $25 and get their business license because you voted on it and sell goods and services and things like that. Yes, sir.
I think I live on Airline and I feel like we need trees finishing all the way going down because we have trees halfway.
Now, we just planted 600 trees out there to drain it, and I think, well, they started with 4 and they added another 2. So I hope that, I haven't seen exactly where they're all at yet, but we are definitely putting trees out there to separate the park from the people that live across. So if there's a baseball game or a soccer game going and there's lights, that light doesn't shine right into your living rooms or bedrooms across the street. Okay. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you have any other questions, as I said, we are doing the master plan. And once we are started and once we get going in that, one of the things we will be doing is going to different schools, different classrooms, and talking to different groups people that are already running cross-country, already playing football, and asking their opinions from their groups and their organizations about what they'd like to see. So this probably will not be the last time you'll hear us asking questions about what you'd like to see, and we will definitely listen to you and try to work in as much of it as possible. So thanks.
Thanks, Tracy. Next up, we have another special guest who is joining us. It's the Assistant Planning Director. Her name is Jennifer Marks, and she also had some things that she wanted to discuss with you. Can everybody clap for Jennifer Marks?
Yeah, so like you said, I'm the Assistant Director at the Planning Commission here in Henderson. Just a quick overview because it's kind of, a lot of the stuff I do is honestly a little bit boring at this age anyways. But we pretty much cover all things land development here in Henderson and Henderson County. So anytime a business wants to locate to Henderson, typically their plans or or if a business wants to grow, expand that we have here, will always come across my desk or the office there so that we can review them to make sure they meet regulations and some things that Trace brought up with lighting and, putting in trees so that way we make the developments more aesthetically pleasing for the area. That's what we do. But one of the fun things that I get to do at the Planning Commission is a lot of dreaming, or as a lot of people would say, vision planning. So one of the jobs that we have pretty much every day is a continual look at a plan and how we want to see Henderson grow. So, I'm not talking about tomorrow or Friday, or today is Friday, so next Friday, I'm talking about 5 years, 10 years, when you guys are adults. What do we want to see Henderson, what kind of direction do we want to see it going in? And so the city currently owns a piece of property behind Walmart. Do we all know kind of? Yeah, Jacob. Okay, that's right, Luke. But we're talking about across the street from there. So it's a piece that was left off of that park. It's about 13 acres that they want to look to rezone as highway commercial. So rezone's kind of a word to throw out there, but in that zone for highway commercial, you can pretty much put anything you want commercial-wise, business-wise, and things like that. So I wanted to bring that to you all today and see kind of what things do you want to see besides a Chick-fil-A in that 13 acres back there. So what are some things we could bring here that would make you want to stay here, come back here, raise your family, things like that, or what you think we could bring more economic development in here? Right here?
More volleyball areas.
More volleyball areas, like put another sportsplex back there. Could do it, yeah.
Like more lakes, because I know that lakes are in Henderson, or not Henderson, Newburgh, but we need some here.
Like a specific licks or an ice cream shop? Are you open? Is there some wiggle room there, or you want the licks? I get it, because I used to go to one in Owensboro, so.
Like an ice cream shop.
Just an ice cream shop, yes, that's great. Back here?
The Titanic Museum.
The Titanic Museum? Okay. What do we got here?
Maybe like a sky zone or an elite air.
A sky zone and elite air somewhere, kind of indoor park playing thing that families and can go to? Yeah. What do we got back here?
More Walmarts.
More Walmart.
Walmart.
A Walmart behind Walmart. Okay. Could be
Target.
a Target. Yeah. Let's see. What do you got over here?
Rookies.
So you want another rookie. So we'll have Rodney expand from downtown.
Yes.
Okay. I'm good with that one too. What do we got here?
More shopping areas.
More shopping areas. Yes. Of any kind, right? Just something more. Back here? Arcade, yeah. So definitely a part of this family fun center, I think, in here. We're gonna have jumping places, maybe go-karts, arcades, cool stuff. What do we got back here, Mr. Mayor?
D-bats.
What's that?
It's a place where you can go and hit.
Oh, okay. So like a batting cage or something like that. That's a new one. We haven't heard that one yet.
Those are like in Evansville.
What do we got here?
Like a nice restaurant or something like that where you go and eat.
What kind of nice restaurant? If you had to pick.
Talkaholics.
Okay, we can pass that off to Marcos and see. All right, Miss City Manager. Texas Road. All right, what do we got over here?
You could do an off-road trail for like four-wheelers and dirt bikes.
Oh yeah, so I think that could go in with Trace too. We could look at that between parks and. Interesting. Let's do two more up here. What do you got?
You could put a academy
Academy Sports?
or a Drake's. Yes.
Oh, I love yes.
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 Both. We can go shop at Academy and then go eat at Dress. What we got here? A mall. Just more shopping facilities, right? What do you got, Lou?
A construction room where you can just smash.
Take out your frustrations and things like that. I think that's a great idea. So again, we can throw all these ideas around, and like Trey said, we don't have a specific plan going right now for that area. But we look at that when we do what we call our comprehensive plan, which covers the city and county. And we're very interested in what you all specifically have to say, because we want to make sure that Henderson continues to grow, right? And so you guys are going to grow up, you're going to go off to college maybe, but we want you to come back here. We want you to enjoy the time that you spend in Henderson and always want to visit. So I'm very interested in getting your guys' input on kind of what you see Henderson growing and how what you want to see moving forward. I know that your teachers have the mayor's information, and you guys he can get the stuff to me. But like I said, when we do come time to rewrite some of our plans, I do want to sit down with you guys, and I want you all to be involved. So that way we can, grow Henderson in the best way that we can to maintain population and grow population. So.
Good deal. Good job, Ms. Jennifer. So we have about 10 to 15 minutes left, and for that time period, we wanted to give you an opportunity to ask any questions of me or the city commissioners, the parks director, the assistant planning director. This is Travis. He's with IT, information technology. He's the one who is making it possible for us to live stream the event today and everything else. And Dawn Kelsey, our city attorney. So who has any questions that they would like to ask us? Yes?
This is not a question, but I think we should put an outlet mall with like everything in it.
She thinks we should put an outlet mall with everything in it. I do too, honestly. What are your favorite outlet stores?
Probably like Sephora,
Uh-huh.
Under Armour, and like Academy.
Yeah, good thoughts, yes.
The same as Finley, but with we could have a sports center,
More like a
the
sports
building would divide into softball area, baseball area, volleyball area, and running area, or an IHOP.
What's an iPod?
IHOP.
IHOP. Oh yeah, I know what that is. That's the International House of Pancakes, right? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I think we should put not in an outlet mall, but just a Nike store.
Yeah, Nike stores are really nice, aren't they? They are. So let's transition over to see if anybody has any questions for us, okay? So out of everything that you've learned today about city government and everything else that's going on, what kind of questions do you all have for us that we can answer for you? Yes, sir?
Do you know who Missy Vanderpool is?
I definitely know who Missy Vanderpool is. She's your mom? She is a fantastic person. She's actually, his mother is the head of our economic development department and does a lot of really important work for the city. I don't know if anyone has heard of a new business called Pratt Paper.
Yes.
That's where my dad works. That's where your dad works, yeah. Missy was very instrumental in getting that specific business here to Henderson. And that's her job, is to kind of recruit and bring in businesses. She does some really important work for the city. Yes?
Is the Rodney Thomas up there the one that owns Rookies?
Yes. So yes, Commissioner Rodney Thomas, he's serving in his second term. He's the one so you're a big fan of her. How do you know Commissioner Rodney Thomas?
I looked it up on Google and I go to Rookies every Friday.
You Well, it's a wonderful restaurant. His family is on that place forever. And I'm going to turn around and get to you in just one second. Yes?
How do you guys ever decide on voting? If it's even?
That's a good question. So one of the reasons we have, so actually, let me ask you a question. Why do you think one of the reasons we have 5 people on our commission and not 4 is?
Because then it would be even.
Exactly. If we happen to have 4 people and it's 2-2, Dawn, what happens when it's a 2-2 vote and there's 4 people here and it's a tie? It fails. So we're not able to pass something unless we have a majority vote. Okay, that's a good question. But one of the reasons that when you see a body like this, one of the reasons that you usually see odd numbers of people is so that there are not ties, so that we can advance something forward or make sure that something either passes or fails. That's a good question. Yes?
How tremendously do you think the bypass will increase Henderson's population?
Oh, good question. Oh my gosh, you are getting deep. So he asked the question, how much do we think that the new bypass is going to increase the population of Henderson? And the answer to your question is a road in and of itself is not going to increase population at all. But what we do with that road is definitely going to have an opportunity to increase population. So we've got a new, does everybody know where the construction is and the new highways? Everybody know where that stuff is? Like, I know the whole city right now is kind of under construction, isn't it? It's everywhere you go. But yeah, when you're driving down 41 and you see it split off, that's going to be a new road that's going to connect to a new bridge. The new bridge should be built no later than 2031. So it's still a little bit of ways out. And so to be able to travel on that road and cross a bridge, it's going to take some time. The reason why that is, I know you didn't ask this, but I'll answer your question. The reason why that is you have to have a road to get back there so that they can take supplies to it so they can build the bridge. And then it takes about 3.5 years to build a bridge that big that's going to go over the Ohio River. So as far as growing our population, so I'll give you an example of how the road has helped. So us being able to say that we are adjacent to a major interstate, like I-69, for example, that's going to run all the way from Canada to Mexico, and we're right in the middle of that road. That's a major advantage for us when we're trying to recruit businesses, when your mom is trying to recruit businesses, right? Because what that says to a business is you can locate here and you can get to a lot of places very quickly because of this interstate. And that interstate actually played a small role in being able to recruit Pratt Paper to come to this town. Now, when we look at that and you have a Pratt Paper that comes and we get 320 new jobs, and they're all really good paying jobs, that grows your community also because the people who work there have to have a place to stay. And so now, you brought up Jago earlier, right? We've got a new Jago home development that's going to go in behind Walmart where we're going to build up to 300 new houses to house people, and that's what's going to grow the community. Because you can't grow the community unless they have a place to stay, right? It's not like everybody can just come in here and pitch a tent in the backyard of somebody. We've got to have new houses and stuff like that. So it all feeds into each other. So a new road could bring new business, which could bring new housing, which could bring new tax revenues, which can allow us to build things like a sports complex, or put together a proposal for a new conference center out at Audubon State Park, or do some really cool things for you guys and for us and for our families. But really good question. Yes, Mayor.
It isn't a question.
Huh?
But it would be cool if we added a Prime store.
What's a Prime store?
Oh, yes.
I'm so sorry I'm old. I just don't know what it is. What is it?
The hydration drink.
Hydration drink?
Did it Jake
You can get it.
Holy cow. Okay. So I'm learning. So he thinks it would be really cool if we added a Prime store in here. Does everybody agree with that?
How often do we meet?
Okay, so she asked a question, she asked a question, how often do we meet? Okay, so we have city commission meetings twice a month, the regular city commission meetings twice a month, on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 3 o'clock in this room. That's why our names are up here, because we sit up here and do this stuff. So twice a month. You all are always welcome. If you ever see an issue that you need to come talk to us about, you're always welcome, first of all, to reach out to us through our contact information. Call us, look us up on social media, have us come out to your schools and talk about an issue if you need us to. But you're also always welcome to come to a meeting if you would like. Anytime there's an issue that you want to bring before us, you are welcome to come talk to us about anything. And we cannot always do everything to make everybody happy. A lot of times people ask for things like a Prime store, for example. Right? Am I saying that right? Is it an M Prime? Yeah, Prime, like a Prime store, for example. So the city does not, like the city would not spend taxpayer money to go out and put in a Prime store in a city. What that takes is it actually takes private investment money. And it takes people who believe in the product and who want to open a store and who thinks that they can sell that product in a community and make money. So what you would need is a group of investors to bring that store in. But no, it's a good question. Yes.
So you know the executive branch, like the president's in charge of that. Have you ever met with him?
Have I ever met with the president? No. Not personally. I've never met with the president. What's that? Now we on the local level, so we have met the members of the commission have met with the governor many times. Because the governor, for example, I just brought up something earlier about, we just found out one of the projects that we're working on now that's kind of neat is we are bringing a conference center to Henderson. And that is going to house 400 to 700 people. And we started looking at it a year and a half ago, and we're going to put it at our state park. And we thought, hey, let's ask the state for half of the money for it, since it's going to be at the state park. $15 million facility that we're going to build out there. Yeah, so it's very expensive. And so we have been talking with the governor and with our state senator and state legislator who are here, and all three of them have done a really good job of making sure that the state just voted on giving us a whole lot of money. And they're going to end up giving us about $3 to $4 million more than what we asked for to go toward that facility. And so that's going to be one of those things where we can't just build it like that. It's going to take probably up to 4 years to have that thing completed. But something in your lifetime before you get out of high school, assuming everything continues to move forward like it's supposed to, that's something that you should see. But we do rely on people who are above us, like the governor or even the president. But once you get to that level of the national government, so Commissioner Bowles and Commissioner Witt and I and Commissioner Pruitt went to Washington last year, and we met with members from the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Authority. We met with members from the FTA, which is Federal Transportation. We met with the members of the Department of Transportation, and we talked to all of them about issues that the federal government is impacting that affects us right here, like a new runway expansion at our airport, or how we take care of our roads, stuff like that. But good question, yes?
So Rodney's my uncle, and if we want to add a new rookies, I can help run the new rookies.
Oh, there you go. There you go. We're going to have to let Rodney know he's got a lot of fans. Yes?
Where will that new state park be?
Okay, so it's not a new state park, but it'll be a conference center. It's Audubon State Park. So do you know where Audubon State Park is? Yeah, I thought everybody did. So when you go into Audubon State Park, there's an area back, this is a good question, there's an area in the park that used to be an old beach. And it's by a pond, and it's kind of separated back from everything, and it has parking already for like 400 people back there. And there's an old boathouse that is kind of decayed and has lost its luster over time. What's going to happen is we're going to tear out the old boathouse, and the conference center is going to go on top of where the boathouse is now, on the side of that hill. And on the back, you're going to have a lot of glass, and it's going to overlook that pond. And people are going to use it for weddings and meetings, and then they entertain over 130 busloads of kids on field trips a year. And instead of having to have them come in and go to the basement of the museum, they'll have a nice new place to welcome the kids that come there to visit the park. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What inspired you to work like this?
What inspired us to do what?
What inspired you to be the
Oh, thank you. That's a good question. So what inspired me to run for office, basically, right? So mine is a little bit different of a story. I was in a club called Rotary. There was a gentleman, his name's John L. Seitz. He was one of the people who, that's your dad? Oh, look at that. Your dad is actually very much responsible for me being mayor today. Because he used to be on the school board a long time ago. You remember when he was on the school board? But you might not. No, that was a long time ago. That was 2016. He was on the school board. You just have to take my word for it. He was on the school board, and they moved out of their district. And when people move out of their district, they're no longer eligible to hold office in that district in some circumstances. And his was one of those. And he and I were very close in Rotary. I think a lot of you did. He's a good guy. We were very close in Rotary, and he came to me and he asked me, would I be willing to run for school board to take over his place when he was leaving, because he wanted to know somebody who cared as much about kids and education and stuff like that would be in there. And so I agreed to do that, and I was on the school board for a little over a year. While I was on the school board, I really started liking representing people, because many times, let me rephrase that. So it's because when you're running for office, you have to have a heart for wanting to represent people. Because people are going to come at you a lot of different ways. They're going to come at you with anger. They're going to come at you with happiness. They're going to come at you with sadness. They're going to come at you with concern. And you have to be able to deal with all different types of people and make sure that those issues that are important to them are important to you and that you work on those specific issues. And so the reason I'm in office today is because I really like taking care of the people who live in the same city that I do and making making decisions that make our city a better place. That's a really good question. We've got time for one more question and we're going to have to end it. Yes, ma'am. Or actually, and I think there was a question back here too. Yes.
So, like, Rotary Field Day?
Uh-huh.
Was that, that was yesterday. So, is that the reason that, was Rotary Field Day based on the Rotary?
Yes, it is actually. So Rotary does a lot of really good things. So it's a social club in town that does a lot of, two of the biggest things that you would be familiar with is Rotary Field Day. That's been going on for decades.
I actually had it yesterday.
Yeah. So it's an annual event that has taken place for a long, long period of time that allows kids to compete against each other in Field Day. There's also something called the Rotary Colonels to College Scholarship Program that you'll find out more about in high school. So back in 2011 timeframe, we decided to raise money, and we raised $2 to $3 million to make sure that anybody in Henderson who goes to the high school, graduates in 4 years or less, has no safe schools violations, has less than 7.5 absences per year, and maintains at least 2.5 GPA. So that's not the highest GPA, but it's an acceptable GPA. If you complete all of those things, and then if you want to go out to the community college for 2 years to do your first 2 years of college, then we set aside this money that's going to give you up to $1,000 a semester every semester you're out there to help pay for your school. Because that was something important. But that's a lot of times when you belong to a social club or a charitable club or organization like that, they do lots of really good things within the community. Did I see somebody's hand up back here? Everybody good? Okay. Yes.
They probably all
Oh, there you go. Yeah, in 3rd grade, everybody get dictionaries?
Yeah.
Somebody come and get, yeah, something else that Rotary did. Miss Kelsey and Commissioner Witt and Austin, Travis, Commissioner Witt, Austin Bowles. At one point in time, we've all been in Rotary. It's a really good club. So now we're going to get to the part where we are going to have to end things. Thank you. But what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to adjourn a meeting, okay? And it's very simple. Remember earlier we learned about motions, right? So what you have to do is call for a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry. We have to call for a motion to adjourn. So if you can ask the commissioners, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
All right. And so if any one of the commissioners would just say the word "so moved," and that means you're making the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. And then can I have a second?
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second. So we have a motion and a second. And this one we don't have to do a roll call. All you have to do is say all in favor, say aye.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the motion passed and approved. So what you do is pick up the gavel that I get to use during the meetings and say meeting adjourned and bang the gavel down.
Meeting adjourned.
All right, so this part of the meeting is adjourned, and now we're going to do certificates for everyone who got to sit on the commission today. So when I call your name, if you come down, I'll give you your certificate, shake your hand, and then if you just go back and take your seat. Sophia Overfield, everybody clap when I know. Miss Sophia, you made a wonderful city manager for us today. Thank you so much. Here you go. Isaac, pronounce the last name. Is it Hoffling? Heffling? Hafling. Isaac Hafling. Isaac, thank you so much for being on City Clerk today. Appreciate it. Levi Shoulders. Levi, really good city commissioner, sir. Thank you. Anna Sauer. Did I pronounce your last name correctly? Awesome. Thank you for being city commissioner. I appreciate it. Colin Fulkerson. Colin, a really good city commissioner, sir. Thank you. There you go. Anna Chappelle. Thank you. Bryce Harpole. And as elected by the class, your mayor for this year's mock city government, Jagger Coons. All right, so that concludes this year's mock city government for Holy Name. We appreciate you all coming to the city, and we hope to see the 5th grade back here next year. Thank you guys very much.